Okay, we are live. Hey, everybody. I'm gonna see if I can find the left there. Okay, so the chats are available right through there. So we had a scheduling conflict today. Crimson was supposed to be on with me, but she had a little bit of an emergency. So we thought that we would come in and start our talk with the Scratchy House Part 1. So this is Bear's. This is Bears. This is for you. You get to do this one. Hey, Blue Knight, how you doing? You are the first. I just talked with you. Just talked with you. So this is Bear's take on a house that we used to live in, and we refer to it as the Scratchy House. This was a home rental that we had gotten. It was a cute little house on the west side of San Antonio, at Zarzamora and Fulton, if I remember right. And it was a cute little stucco house. I mean, it was a lovely little place, but it was haunted AF, big time. But it wasn't haunted, I don't really feel, in a bad way. There was like a lot of residual stuff, but I do believe that this one was also intelligent. Okay, it's creeping me out when you look at me that way and I'm seeing you here just looking at the side of my head. It's creeping me out just a little bit. If you could just look this way, sir, that would help me a lot. It like also creeped out like okay. So you want to talk a little bit about how we got to the house? And I know we're at
we're staying in those apartments. Mm-hmm. We had a ghost down at those apartments. If you remember, they came up from the creek.
Yes, they did. A couple of them. They would come up.
Well, yeah. There was a couple. There was a married couple or whatever. They I think they were courting. I couldn't tell, but I thought they were courting.
It was ghost courting. Yes. It was ghost dating in the creek down below.
I don't think they. I think they were already courting when they passed away. Maybe they passed away of, influenza or whatever, and then they. After death, they stuck together. I don't know, but they used to come up from that creek area.
Yeah.
Remember? Anyway, we were out looking for a house because we had enough with apartment life.
Yeah, we had enough. We're like, no more.
I'm not much of an apartment dweller.
Yeah, no.
So I was out looking for housing, and monies were a little bit tight. So we went downtown.
Downtown.
And it was actually deep west side.
West side. We did.
Anyway, they were all very old homes, and I'm trying to remember. I think this one was built in
1900.
No, it was 1911. I think
1920-ish.
Oh, 1919. That's what it was.
1919.
I think that's when it was built. Anyway,
do we get Alondra Ghost Stories the musical? Downtown.
Anyway, so I'm looking all over the place, and there were some that we had to pass up completely just because they were either too run down or too full of guests that we couldn't get rid of. So,
do you remember the really pretty one with all the stained glass?
The floor was sunken.
The floor was like this.
We'd have had to level the floor, but I could have got a good deal on that, but I had to spend 6 months working on it.
We couldn't do it.
So it wasn't an option.
It was cool.
But that was a neat house. God, that was a neat house. That was right near Woodlawn Lake.
And also haunted, but in a good way.
In fact, it was off of Woodlawn Drive.
Yeah, it was off Woodlawn.
Anyway, so we ended up finding this house.
You found this house. You came and showed it to me because we were new in our relationship.
That's true.
We were not married as of yet. We were still living in sin. In sin. Yeah. We were.
So we get in this house and everything's hunky-dory. It's nice and quiet. There's some haunted houses around us, not necessarily right next door, but on that street and streets behind and from us. And so we're in this house for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
And let me tell you, the party was over.
This house.
It wasn't bad.
No, but somewhere after Christmas, so somewhere that week right after Christmas and right before New Year's is when the activity just started. And we were in this house for what, 2 years, 3 years? Something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah, and it was always around the same time. So right after Christmas until about mid-April, it was just active. It was
Right.
like really active. So you're gonna talk about.
Yeah, I was getting out of the shower one time,
Mm,
and the whole room's kind of foggy, and I open up the shower and go to get out, and I look across, and at the angle I was at, I shouldn't have been looking straight into the mirror, but I could see the reflection of an old man in there, and it wasn't this old man. This I was much younger there. For one, that was 20
you was
20
a
years ago,
young pup still
and
then.
yeah,
You was a little pup.
my beard was still red, not white. Anyway, I'm looking at this old dude in the mirror, and I'm like, that's interesting, and I'm trying to figure out if that's me, if I'm seeing something in the smoke and the haze of the steam of the bathroom, or I'm seeing an alternative me or not, and it's not me at all. I mean, the eyes, mouth, nose, none of that lines up. So I'm like, I don't know what this is, and I kind of shake it off and do my thing, and um, shortly thereafter, um,
Let's see if it comes up on Google.
we there was something else that happened to somebody else. I don't remember if it was Raven or one of the kids, and they bring it up, and then in my head I'm going, yeah, I saw that guy. But there were several incidences, and I'd get them out of order. It's been that long that I'll get them out of order. But I know there was an incident where the doors would go to slamming in succession around the house.
Hey, that's mine. You can't touch that.
But I was there for it.
You were there for it, but you were not there for it the
but
first
there was
time.
that. It happened more than once.
Look, babe, I just brought it up on.
You sure did.
Google.
Did it ever get painted? It looks like it
And
got
look,
painted.
it finally got painted as soon as we got out.
This house was called the Scratchy house because when we looked at it, it was this nice creamy color with terracotta roof tiles and all this stuff. Cute little house. Had a little turret for a front door. It was really neat. Not very big. It was about 1,100 square feet, maybe 1,200 square feet.
Like the tile, old Spanish tile roof, you know, it was really cute. The inside of the living room, the ceiling was, like all of the edges were rounded corners. It was really, really beautiful. Rounded.
But each of the kids ended up seeing this old man in a different way. They each had a different thing they'd call him.
Can't talk about that either.
I can talk about it.
They're gonna come on and they're gonna talk about it.
I'll let them say their thing, but they all had a different reference for this old man. I was sound asleep one day, and he grabs me by the beard and shakes me awake. And the only thing I can think of is I was having real bad sleep apnea back then, and he thought I was choking or what have you, and woke me up.
That was weird because so Bear has this certain type of snore that happens, and then he has obstructive sleep apnea and you had a U triple P and you had what else?
Double jaw
advancement, everything in order to try to, have his airway improved. And so he will snore and then go into like a state of like he's stuck. And so this ghost took him and like grabbed your jaw and
grabbed a hold of my beard with my chin, my chin itself, and like shook me up and pulled on me, and I woke me up.
Did you see him?
No, I didn't see him then. I saw him in the bathroom, and I saw him outside once.
Where did you see him outside? I don't remember that.
I saw him behind the kitchen in our bedroom, that area, and the bathroom on that little stretch of space there. I was out there doing some work, and I look up, and there he is looking at me.
Weird. Well, talk about these ladies then over here across the street.
You would have me talk about them. I can't remember their names, and I feel awful about that. They're probably not with us anymore.
No, they've long passed. But it was
wonderful.
Julie, and it was her sister, two sisters, elderly sisters that lived across the street that had asked us how it was going in the house. Right. And you were starting to do little odd jobs for them. And there was also the lady so there's the two across the street. And then these guys over here, because that was a rental property.
Do
And
you have this showing up on that?
no,
Oh, okay.
because she
She
was
had the
talking,
avocado trees.
because she was talking shit about these other people
'Cause
that
they
were
had
living on the
renters and
other
they were
side.
criminals.
They were criminals on the other
Yeah.
side for sure. And so she was like, "Help, help!" And she needed a big ugly guy to come over and help her with stuff. And she was giving us the skinny on what was
Right.
happening.
We started
at our
asking
house.
around to find out who lived in the house because I wanted to know who this old man was.
Mhm.
And wasn't he Polish or something? What was his name?
I don't know. I thought
he
he was
was-
Hispanic. I don't know about Polish.
No, he was married to a Hispanic lady. He was not Middle Eastern, East. It was Polish or Czechoslovakian or something. He was from Europe, but the east side of Europe.
Okay, this is new information. Like literally, known you for how many years?
No,
This is totally new
that's what
information.
they said.
Then you had that conversation. Go ahead.
I don't remember.
I don't remember this.
Anyway, like I said, it's been a long time.
Yes.
And the old man apparently fell down in the bathtub and hit his head on the bathtub. And he busted his face up.
Mhm.
And then he gets up. And I don't know if he slips again there or once he gets out, he has a heart attack and falls. He's headed back to his bedroom and he falls out dead right before he gets to the bedroom that we were staying in. And the funniest thing, not the funniest thing, the odd thing about it was our cats, we had 2 different cats in that place at least.
2 different times.
At 2 different times. They didn't know each other. They never talked to each other,
Mhm.
whatever cats do. But they were at 2 separate times in that 2.5, 3 years we were there. And they would jump over that spot.
Yep.
The animals did not like walking on that like 2-foot square area.
Mhm.
They would not touch it.
I had
And the old
like
man did not like most of the animals in the house.
Here's my sad rendering of
Oh.
the house.
He didn't care for most of the cats. He didn't care for the birds. We had was it canary?
We
Or
had
was it a budgie?
2 little
we had
like
different
parakeets, budgies. Yeah,
budgies.
we had 2 little budgies,
And both of those got dead.
finches.
We had finches. Every bird, he killed them all. We even had chickens shortly after we moved there, and they were living in the yard, out in the backyard, and every one of them got killed. Every last one of them.
Yep.
So
He hated birds. This
we even had some
particular.
quail. He didn't like those either.
We had quail.
Yes. But they may have run away because they were little. But the chickens, we had
I remember
quail.
the chickens. I don't remember no quail.
Okay, whatever.
Certainly don't remember somebody Polish. But Compare has a totally different rendering of what had
Hey.
happened. But those were the that was coming from the older ladies across the street and then over to
Right.
the left of us.
They were telling us about the old man and that he had died in the house.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This is kind of the rendering of the house that I have done. Do you want to kind of give them an overall view
Here, I'll
of the
hold that.
situation? Or how?
Sorry.
So like here was the kitchen, the dining room. Here's like the little turret entry that comes through right through here. And then you can go down this great big hallway. And there was the bathroom. There was the kids' room right across the way that was sort of diagonal in as far as the doors go. Then there was our closet and then our room at the very end of the hall. So this was the long stretch hall. And then there was an office next to it. And so he had hurt himself somewhere in this bathroom, and then he crawled out into the hall to try to get help and had a heart attack and died here. And so the cats would literally jump over this spot. And like we said, we had Howard the cat, and he also ran away in a very
That's
weird
right.
way. You want to talk about that too?
Yeah, I was sitting on the porch, on the back
It's
porch.
very
There's a little
odd.
cover on the porch. And I wasn't 3 feet from the door, maybe 2.5, 3 feet from the door.
Mhm.
And one of our friends opens the door, and the cat comes out the door at about 3.5 feet tall. I mean, above the doorknob, and clears me completely.
Leaps.
And there's this battle cry of a meow that was very disturbing. And I'm like, what the heck? And Raven turns around and goes, what's
What
up with
happened?"
Howard? You know,
Yeah.
you would have thought somebody picked him up and threw him. That's the kind of velocity he had. Threw him out the door and the sounds he was making, and he never came back. We never saw him again.
And we went out to go get him, and we couldn't
Multiple
find him.
times. We couldn't find him. We spent a week or 3 or 4 trying to find that cat and never found him.
Mm-hmm.
Put up posters. He just disappeared. No body, no nothing, gone.
It was weird.
Yep.
It was crazy.
I was putting together. Also, remember the swing set I bought the kids?
Yeah.
They had just, right when we moved in, somewhere time frame, they had turned 5. They were 4 or 5 when we first moved in to that house. So
Hey, Mark.
we had bought a one of those typical metal, I think it was blue and white with little purple lines on it, swing sets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was 2 swings and a little slide.
Yep.
So I'm putting it together, and I'm over there working on the slide, and all of a sudden the swings just start moving.
It was weird.
And I'm looking at that, and I get up and I go get a drink of my iced tea, and I come back, and the swing's just going at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to get her, and she's like, "What? There's nothing going on. What are you talking about?" I go back to work. It starts swinging again.
Uh-huh.
I'm not even making this thing vibrate.
Uh-huh.
And then we'd be inside, and you'd see the swing swinging. So and that seemed to settle down more after the kids played on it more. But early on, it seemed like there were some ghosts that wanted to swing more than the kids did to start with.
Or it was the ghost chickens. Because they were out in the yard, very similar. I'm just kidding.
You're silly.
I might be. Yeah.
So,
But it was, this activity would really just be, it was super active from January to like mid-April. And then it
so
was
it got
just,
hot.
yeah, and then it just chilled out. It was really, really weird. He apparently worked for the railroad. That's what Julie
right.
had told
That's
me.
right.
He had worked from the railroad. I forgot to turn off my notifications. Sorry. Let me just do that now. Okay.
Then there was the garage. It had a detached 2-car garage that was built after the fact.
Yep. Would you like me to roll down the street here? Because I can show it to you.
And there was a workbench on one side. And I remember being in there working on it, this really old blue Econoline 150 van that we referred to as the pachyderm with the kids in it.
The pachyderm.
So anyway, I was doing some work on it, and stuff started moving around the garage, and it was that was pretty mean-spirited energy in the garage.
It was a creepy garage too. It was a creepy garage. It had a dirt floor. Ooh.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of.
Yeah, it was one of them places you felt like something was buried in the floor.
Yeah.
Nobody could watch them bury it. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
it felt like that.
Anyway, there was some pretty rough energy in the garage. You know, we stored stuff in there, but we didn't really go in there much.
We didn't. And in fact, even when we were moving out, we left that stuff there, right? Or no, you put it in a storage unit, right? Okay, yeah. So we just didn't. We just didn't go in there. We weren't going in there. And look, I forgot there was a little door over there.
Yeah, that's
on
where
side.
that's where I go in and out most of the time.
I always saw you coming in and out there.
Yeah.
See, I looked it up on Google. So if you're interested in seeing what the house looks like, it is 1502 Fulton Avenue in San Antonio, Texas.
It's a cute little house. We really enjoyed it. It's where we started out. I mean, we started in the apartment for, I don't know, 6 months or so.
No, so, yeah, it was. I think it was a 6-month situation. I don't think we were there for a year or so. But it was. I remember also. I'm just like, babe, there's something going on outside, and there was like a bust. I don't know if it was a drug bust or what had happened, like right on our front porch.
Well, that's when
it was
I
like,
went
boom.
out there.
Yeah.
I went out there and I caught the police officer off guard. I'm standing right over him, I'm like. I hope this guy doesn't try anything on you, because you tell this officer it was all he could do to get this guy down. He looks over his shoulder and you could just see the look on his face. He's like, "Oh crap!
Oh my God!
This guy's got me."
Yeah.
And I said, "No worries. I'm here to make sure you didn't give me any issues." And you could just see the relief on the officer's face.
Thank God! This guy didn't come and kill me.
He thought I was the guy's buddy.
You're
So,
like, no, no, no. Yeah, it was,
yeah.
but he was taking him down like right at the front door. Like, no joke. It
Yep.
was happening. It was funny.
So,
Funny, but not.
funny but not.
Funny, but not.
But there was a lot of energy at that house. A lot of it. Most of it was okay in the house, other than the fact the old man didn't like animals. He was okay with the dogs,
Mm-hmm.
but he did not like the birds.
We
He
had
didn't.
a standard Chihuahua there by the name of Gypsy. And
Yeah.
then we had
Oh,
Harry, who was the dumbest dog. The dumbest dog I've ever met in my life. Yes.
He was missing a few genes.
It's really bad. This poor dog.
We also had goldfish that wouldn't die.
We had Goldie fish. Goldie the fish.
That one followed us to the next house. That
She might have been a ghost on her own.
Well, she did turn white.
She did turn white.
She was a what do you call it? A comet. She was a comet goldfish. Came to the house that big, and she died about 8 or 9 inches long. She lived in a 2,200 or 2,000 gallon koi pond at the other house, Tesla Oak's house.
Yep. She lived a good life.
She did.
She did.
How old was she? She had to be 8 years, 9 years old.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know how old
I don't think goldfish
to...
lived that long. Not comets anyway.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, that's my version of what happened at the Scratchy house.
The Scratchy house. Did we tell them why it was Scratchy?
No, we didn't tell him once.
Okay. So
Well, sort of.
Ridley, when Ridley was young, the kids, the two older ones, Casper and Ridley were 5 when we moved in there, and Amber was 3. So maybe 2.5. 2.5, maybe 3. Close to. Probably half a year. Somewhere in there. Okay. So when we first went and looked at the house, it was this beautiful kind of, crisp.
It's creamy.
It was a creamy white kind of color. And then we signed all the stuff, everything, and then we go back to it, and the lady had pressure washed. Pressure washed the house because they were going to repaint it. But then we were like moving in. We're like, well, when are you going to repaint it? It didn't make any sense. So now the house, you could see the old like grayish green color underneath coming through the paint. And so Ridley referred to it as the Scratchy house. It's the Fulton house, 1502 Fulton Avenue in San Antonio, Texas. Y'all need to go look at that just on Google and be like, oh, okay. It was our first house together. Our first rentals together other than the apartment. And so Ridley had referred to it as the Scratchy house.
Well, it's always called the Scratchy house now. So it doesn't matter what it's painted like.
Yeah, we don't care. So now it looks like they painted it a creamy pink rosy color.
Yep.
Yep. Matches the tiles. It looks great. Yep. Those are things.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Bear, for your expertise on that. So tomorrow I have Monique on, and she will be on at 6 p.m. to give us a ghost story. And then Wednesday, I am going to be talking about my Fulton House experience. And then hopefully, throw some energy at this because it's like herding cats. Don't stop looking at me like that. Was so weird. Don't stop. Will you stop? Knock it off, man. Okay. Anywho, with the stuff. Anywho, so I'm trying to get all 3 of my kids to come and talk about their experience of what had happened. Amber remembers some very interesting things now that she never made known back then. Ridley has a different take on it, and Casper has a totally different take on it. And he can't remember a whole lot of it. So he is interested to hear what his siblings have to say to maybe jog his memory about some stuff.
He was too busy being Batman.
He was too busy being Batman. He was he was terrified. He was terrified of this man. Do we ever know what his name is? We never got a name.
We did, and I can't remember it.
Sorry, ghosty friend. I don't know. When we would fight, he would light candles. If we would argue, there would be candles lit.
Especially the one in the bathroom was always lit when we were
arguing.
Or if one of the kids was sick, there was a candle lit in the bathroom.
So I remember he was Catholic. He had said that he was Catholic. Yep. Yeah, so candles lit all the time. We're like, you're going to burn down our freaking house, man.
Because we come home, we know we didn't leave any candles on, and he'd turn candles on sometimes.
He would. He'd do a thing. That's right. Okay, I think that's it.
Looking at the Scratchy house makes me go buy a Whataburger.
You want to go buy a Whataburger?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm
sorry,
not
no
even hungry, and I
Whataburger.
want a Whataburger.
You just ate chicken and waffles.
I'm not. You know, I just said I'm not hungry,
In there.
but it just makes me want a Whataburger.
Sorry, Fred.
If you live close to a Whataburger, go eat one for me.
And if you're in
Please.
Texas and you have access to Mexican Buckeyes, I need some Mexican Buckeyes. Please.
And go eat a taco for me.
Yeah, go eat a taco. We miss El Buen Gusto so much.
El Buen Gusto.
And HEB.
Yeah.
Eat
What
some
was,
pimento
what
cheese
was
fries.
the name
What?
of the little place that was 2 blocks down, straight down that street?
Down this way?
Yeah, straight down there on the right.
At Buckeye?
No. The
This
little
is
taco
Buckeye right
place,
here.
the taqueria. No.
Okay.
Not- it was down Buckeye.
Look at, they started a neighborhood watch after we moved out. Well,
they probably need it.
good neighborhood program. Let me tell you, after a good neighbor. Okay, so here's Fulton right
Look
here.
behind you. There's one straight down there. On
That's
the right.
Buckeye.
That's Buckeye. It's the name of the road.
I just said down Buckeye. You said no.
Keep
Down
going.
here, keep going.
Keep going.
I'm taking a
don't need
tour
all-
through the
I know.
hood. Okay,
You gotta get out.
over there.
Yeah,
This one?
somewhere over there.
I see a food.
That must be it.
Hold up.
Yep, that's it. That's it.
That
Yeah,
thing?
because they had a diner where you could sit at the bar and watch them make the tortillas,
I gotta go around the other side.
and then they make them into
Let me hop.
tacos right there.
Oops. Let me hop over here. Hop. There. That thing?
Nope, that's not it. missed it. You lost it.
I
Oh,
did
doesn't
it.
matter.
It's right there.
Nope, that's not it. Wrong side of the road.
Mongoose Karate.
That's different. You're on the other side.
I am on the other
That's
side.
not where I was going. Oh, right.
Is that it?
Nope.
There's
freestanding.
Rio's Barbacoa.
It's different. You're in the wrong spot. It's going to be on the left.
There's the Cricket.
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
We don't know. It doesn't matter. That place. That little place. That's
Nope.
something else. I don't think it's there anymore. Letty's Cakes is still there.
Yeah.
Damn, Letty. Letty's been busy. She's been busy, man.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That's it. We come back tomorrow. We go back tomorrow with Monique, which is exciting. And I was very excited to have met her at meet and greet. So excited to have her on. And then hopefully it will be my turn for the Fulton house, and then hopefully the kids. So throw some energy at that, because it's like herding cats, those three. Make it happen. Stop. It's so annoying. That's it. No more for you. Go away. All right. I love you. Bye.